Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Showcase on Warframe. Now that a major update's gone through and 100 weapons been buffed and somewhat nerfed, let's talk about the Twin Gremlins. So arguably the Twin Gremlins wasn't really that much buffed. And I've been on the Vate weapon before, but now I get the Riven for it. Funny thing about the Twin Gremlins is they hold the name Twin, when once upon a time, all the weapons did so. You used to have Twin Lato and Twin Bolto until suddenly it became 8K for Embatico. You know, a term no one really uses anymore. Anyhow, the Twin Gremlins is somewhere in it, like, you know, a bit of an early weapon. I won't say it's a beginning weapon, but it's early. All the damage values are 12.3, so it's good against all factions in that respect. Accuracy is okay, it's 16.7. Critical chance of 15%. Multiplier of 1.5. Fire rate of 5.0. Magazine of 30 shots. Reload of 1.1, which is very quick, and a status of 15%. The buff mainly made this weapon into an elemental or critical based weapon of your choice, where before it was more elemental. Which in my opinion probably best stick with the elemental. So yes, it's a bit of an older weapon. It's been in the game for quite some time. And where you get it is not arguably changed that much. You find that in war is one of the many possible drops when fighting Lieutenant Lich Carroll, and I forget if Captain Vor is even there anymore, but anyway, you can either get the Trinity, the Miter, or the Twin Gremlins. So it's entirely random what you get, though the Twin Gremlins is simply one piece. Now, visually, the Twin Gremlins are a Grineer weapon that's very odd looking. If we look at them, most people think this is a Brad Nailer, and that's what I think too. Like, very close to that, you got a Brad Nailer with a really weird iron sight that's very useless, because, you know, it's beneath your viewing point. Textures on the weapon could be better. It's still a little old. Haven't got a treatment. It's hadn't got much love lately. But that's only aesthetic choices. Okay, so what can these Brad Nailers do? Well, they behave like submachine guns. They're fully automatic. So, but there is travel time with the projectiles though, so it's not bullets, it's nails. So that means at long range, these weapons would be difficult to use. Now another interesting thing is that the weapons are dynamic. When you fire, you can see the magazine pops to the top. So yeah, that's alright. That's alright, it's pretty cool. But like all dynamic animations, you barely ever see them. Now, going on to my ultimate build, when it comes to the Twin Gremlins. Now originally the Twin Gremlins I didn't think was really worth it. Well, this one's a bit of a hard sell, but here's what I got. Now you see I didn't touch my critical build, didn't touch the accuracy at all. The fire rate's slightly better thanks to Lethal Torrent. And magazine's now 42 shots, with my reload being the same, and Riven Disposition's 5 orbs out of 5, with 78 status chance is what I went for. And you see my overall damage is 220, and I got radiation and viral with much higher of that. So I'm kind of leaning heavily on the elements for this one. Which isn't going to be the best against all groups, but we'll see how far it goes. Now, as for my Riven, well, it's a pretty basic one. I really had to roll it at all, and I got out that pretty much like that. You got 332 damage, which is another, you know, freaking damage mod on top of it all. I was like, okay, sure, let's go for it. And Blend plus 134 ammo maximum. This weapon's not really hurting for ammo, but it can always use more. Let's go into the test though, enough about that. First, let's go get some Lancers. I'll get about 20 of them. Sure, why not? Let's see, level, I'm gonna put them at level 75. Yep, that far. I wouldn't go much higher, because even at headshots, they just don't go down immediately. Like I said, this is not a beginner weapon, it's not exactly an intermediate weapon, it fits somewhere in between the two, clearly. With Mars being possibly the second to third planet people find and go across, this weapon easily fits into that category for a player. Although you can see the travel time for projectiles is still there, and even at medium range, you can still easily miss opponents with that projectile flight speed. There's slower projectiles, yes, but these ones aren't exactly the quickest. Far from it. So against Grineer, it's okay. It's okay. Let's go get some MOAs. Grab about 20 of them. Probably should be able to kill all of them this time. Let's see. I'll take them to level 75 again. Now, even though this elements don't really pay heat to these opponents too much, it still works pretty good. Even though all three basic are about, you know, all the same damage types. Against Grineer didn't particularly do excellent, but against the Corpus, It's pretty decent. Then again, the shields are stuffed a little more DPS, which this weapon does have plenty of. But otherwise, it's an acceptable weapon, again, for level 75. Which isn't too high, but acceptable for what I expected of this weapon. Now finally, let's do the chargers. Got 20 of them. You guessed the level? You guessed right. Level 75. Okay, now, against them, this is probably a very good weapon against fighting infestation around this level. It's a run and gun weapon by heart. Easily. You don't have to worry about distance with the infestation. They'll close it for you. And with that radiation proc, it's pretty good for them distracting them and fight amongst themselves. Alright, I didn't really show any footage for this in the plains, because it's not really a really great weapon for the plains. Planes have a very large range, and this weapon doesn't do so great at long ranges, so I'm not going to show any footage. Simply I'll state that. Now against the enemy with the strongest armor, level 150 corrupted heavy gunner, well, the elements will eventually get through, but let me tell you, without the elements, this weapon would be hopelessly, this would be pointless. Put simply. Moving on to the pros and cons of Twin Gremlins. Well, certainly in the pros, it is a rather easy to use run and gun weapon at closer range. It damages almost pretty much every category of enemy equally, though Grenadier seems to be a bit of a not so much by footage. Alright, and it is low mastery requirement by the time you get there, only mastering 5, but yeah. That's kind of it for the pros, in my opinion. On the cons, well, the weapon's not really great at long range at all, as projectiles take longer time to get your opponents, and your opponents have an easier time dodging those, as you are to miss them. Weapon's also a bit obnoxious to get, since I mentioned earlier the only place to get it is in a random drop on Mars, facing Lieutenant Ledge Caro. So yeah, you could be there who knows how many times trying to get it. Alright, and overall the build quality isn't really strong with this weapon. It can get somewhere in some places, but not very far. Okay, but I think that's enough on the pros and cons. Let's go on to the score. Starting off with damage, I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10. This weapon's not extremely weak, but it's a little not very strong for casual fighting. Accuracy, I'm also going to give 6 out of 10. Not so inaccurate that it's unusable, but not as accurate to be constantly hitting those headshots, and even worse at range. Design, I give that a 5 out of 10. Balancing all 3 damage types is not usually the best approach for any weapon. The Siberius can just barely do that, and this weapon really doesn't. Okay, for ammo, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. You get some ammo, but you can go through it pretty quickly if you're not careful. My Riven improved that, but still, even then, I can go through it. I'm going to give that a 3 out of 10. Because, in the long run, I don't think anyone really values this weapon. At all. I don't care for it at all. And I don't really see any players really using it at all, ever. So in total, I give the Twin Gremlins 25 out of 50, just meeting that good requirement. So it's easy to say it's not a terrible weapon, it's not a bad weapon, but it's not a great weapon either, simply put. Okay, time for the judgment. Well, when it comes to Twin Gremlins, my opinion has not changed from my original video. They're still not worth it. I knew they weren't worth it back then before Ribbons, and after Ribbons, it's still not worth it. This weapon is primitive, is the easy word to use. It gets the job done in the early stages, but certainly not in the later stages. But that's my opinion on it, and that's Showcase for today. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you guys next time. Take care out there.